today I'm going to be talking us through how to make minestrone soup. So, first of all, I have got one potato and I'm slicing down, I've cut it in half so that I've got two flat edges so it doesn't roll about, and I'm going to cut it into slices long ways. Now, when I've got that, I'm going to stack them together to cut them down in what looks like chips, I would say, the shapes. And I'm going to do that for all the slices together, and then I'm going to finely dice these. Now, the one thing about making minestrone soup is that it is usually leftover vegetables that are added in, but it's important that we get all the vegetables to the same size. So we're looking for diced vegetables that we're using so that it all cooks at a similar time and cooks evenly. So once I've diced all my potatoes, I just move them onto my clean plate so that I've got lots of space on my chopping board. And next I am going to finely slice and dice my onion. Now we've done this lots before, where we follow the lines down our onion and make short, sharp cuts in it, long ways, and then dice along the other side. Again, that'll give us nice uniform sizes so that it all cooks evenly. Now, this week we've been speaking about dietary goals, and we're looking at, for our assignment task, how to help us achieve these dietary goals that are set by the Scottish Government. And one of the dietary goals is to increase fruit and veg consumption to at least 5 a day, which we have discussed that not a lot of us do. So, this recipe is a good way of ensuring that we are getting lots of vegetables in our daily diet. Soups are a good way, or even pasta sauces are a good way to include hidden vegetables. They're not just sitting on your plate, but they are all mixed into a soup or a sauce, and you can even blend them to incorporate them for things like children, for people like children who you can hide it from them. As well as that, is it's a good way of reducing food waste, as you can use up any vegetables that are in your cupboard or your fridge that are due to go off and just throw them all into your soup. So next what I've done is I've topped and tailed a carrot. I cut it in half so that I've got flat edges again, and then quartered it. So again, I'm always working with flat edges to my chopping board so it doesn't roll away. Now, instead of dicing it right away into like round cuts of carrot, again, I've wanted to make sure that I've got um, my carrots into matchsticks, and then I've chopped them again into fine dice so that it is of a similar size to my onion and potatoes. And clearly, my eyesight's not very good that I've had to go so close. It's always good to be exact and make sure that you're cutting things accurately and be very careful with those fingers. So I'm just taking extra care, clearly. So once you've finished chopping all your carrots again, they just move onto my plate, and next I move on to celery. Now, celery is one of the main allergens, so if you were making this for any of your friends or family, or if you were maybe making this as a new food product to put in the supermarkets, you would have to declare that there was celery in it, as celery is one of the main allergens, then lots of people are allergic to it. So again, I have cut it in half, sliced it long ways, and now I'm finely dicing it so that again it is a uniform size and similar to all my other vegetables to cook at the same time. And lastly is garlic. Now I used the side of my knife, pressed it firmly, and that just makes it really easy for peeling. And that garlic clove shell just came right off. I top and tail to get the hard bits off, and then finely slice and dice again. Garlic is used lots and Italian cooking, and minestrone soup does originate from Italy. And it's a really good way of adding flavour. Another one of the dietary goals we've looked at is about how we should be reducing our salt intake. And in this recipe, we aren't adding any additional salt to our dish, but by using herbs and spices, especially garlic, will make sure it's full of flavour without having to add additional salt. I couldn't get that tin open, I just used a knife. So in this jug, I have got 500 mils of water, a stock cube, and I've chosen a low salt stock cube, 15 mils of tomato puree, and 100 mils of my chopped tomatoes, and that's ready for me to start cooking. So in a pot of oil, with 15 mils of oil, I added one small bit of onion, waited for the bubbles to be forming around it, and when I seen that, I knew that the oil was hot enough to then add all my vegetables in, and this is called sautéing. I'm softening my vegetables before adding my liquid, and this takes a couple of minutes, and you should almost see, like the onions turn translucent. They become, clear as they soften in the oil. You can add a bit of pepper to help flavour. And there add in all the contents of your jug, and you're going to bring this up to the boil, and when we're looking for something to be brought to the boil, we want to see big popping bubbles. Once it's brought to the boil, you're going to add in your spaghetti. Now if you chose wholemeal variety of spaghetti or pasta, that would help increase our dietary fibre content, which would help us achieve another one of our dietary goals, which would help us reduce the risk of constipation. So there you go, you can serve it up and it's really tasty. If you make it, make sure you send us in a video. Enjoy!